For 100 years, an elegant American elm tree at the center of Tompkins Square in New York was just a tree. Then in 1966, it happened to birth a new thing. Something revolutionary started over there. What exactly happened in 1966 that has resonance both with the Western culture but also here with us in India? And that is the audience question. What happened in 1966 at Tompkins Square Park, where an elegant American elm tree happens to be? What is the name of the tree that was named or renamed after this particular incident? Try to figure out the audience question by the end of this episode. I am Aditya. This is Are You Quizzing Me? And on the other end is Vineet. Let's hear the music.
Welcome to Are You Quizzing Me? I am Vineet Nair with my co-host Aditya Kashyap. This is a quizzing trivia podcast show. Join us as we dive deep into history, science, pop culture, and so much more. Let's get quizzing.
All right, welcome back. I just told Vineet that unlike every other episode till date, I think this is the first time ever, I have an audience question. And the reason why I chose today to take over the audience question will be revealed in due time by the end of it. There was a reason why I chose to do the audience question as well. You will find out when we find out the answer. Vineet, are you excited to go on a journey today, which started 3 days ago when I was injured and I was in bed and I opened a Wikipedia article and I came out of it 2 days later because I went down rabbit holes, and today is going to be just cluttered and chock-a-block full of random trivia from my 2 days worth of rabbit holing.
That sounds vaguely dirty, but...
That's true, rabbit holing. Yeah, no, that's not going to catch on.
No. Okay, moving on. So, Aditya, you're hopefully better from the not feeling well. That has to be the worst constructed sentence in the history of the English language. I can only blame the fact that I am sick, as you may have surmised from the increased bass in my voice.
Very attractive, very sexy.
Yes, I know. I'll try to speak in low registers.
Let's go. So how about you start on a low register, but take us to a high with your first question?
Okay, so my first question is as follows. It's a slightly cryptic question. Named after a Spanish inquisitor, this set of rules guides makers of X.
Okay.
It says that clues to X must have 3 parts: a precise definition, a fair subsidiary indication, and nothing else. What is X that follows these principles? I'll repeat the question because it is a cryptic question.
Please do. I look very lost.
Yes, you do look like lost. So, named after a Spanish inquisitor, there is a set of rules that guides makers of X.
Okay.
These rules say that clues to X must have 3 parts: a precise definition, a fair subsidiary indication, and nothing else. So my question is, what is X that follows these principles? I'm not asking you to give me the name of the set of rules because that might be a little too obscure, but then I don't know, maybe you know the answer to this. I wouldn't be surprised.
Let me put you at ease. I have no clue. Okay, so we are completely starting off tabula rasa. And cheeky of you to ask me a Spanish Inquisition question. But let me try my best. It has to have a subsidiary and then nothing else. And has to have a clear definition. Is that what you said the first rule was?
It has to have a precise definition, a fair subsidiary indication, and nothing else.
It's rules for X named after an inquisitor, right?
A Spanish inquisitor.
I'm completely lost. So maybe category might help, like food, sports, I don't know.
No, as I mentioned, this is a clue. So the set of rules describe how to make clues for X.
Oh, how to make clues for X. Clues for X, so makes me think of a board game?
Slightly warm, not slightly warm compared to where you were. Like if you were at minus 200, you are now at minus 10.
So it's some sort of a clues. It has to be some sort of game, some sort of quest. Spanish. Ooh, could it be like Dora the Explorer? Clues, Spanish and Dora.
No.
Some sort of a treasure thing in Latin America.
No. This is something you do find in India as well, but not so common. It's a very niche kind of thing. Though people do brag about it. Let me just make it clear, I'm not one of those people who can even brag about it. It's not even that I don't want to, but I just can't.
Interesting. I don't know why Rubik's Cube came to mind.
But then why would you need a clue for a Rubik's Cube?
Yeah, I was thinking more of the algorithm to solve it, not a clue. Yeah, you're right. A clue. Quizzing? Then I guess quizzing is perhaps something you need a clue for. Some specific type of quizzing?
No.
Oh, what needs clues apart from board games, apart from a treasure hunt?
Okay, let me just put it this way. Imagine a 2-word phrase. Second word is clue. What would you put in the first one? Blank clue.
Tough clue, an easy clue. Is it an adjective or is it some sort of like not one of these generic adjectives, but something very specific?
I'm going to give you a couple of more clues which practically will not help you. They're especially popular in Britain, also in the US, in certain parts of the US. Each clue is fair but tricky, thanks to the rules, which are, by the way, called Jimenean principles, spelled Ximenean.
And that's the Spanish Inquisitor.
Yes, Jimenez was the Spanish Inquisitor. This is called the Jimenean principles.
Okay.
This was named after Derek Somerset McNutt, who used the pen name Jimenez.
This guy was not Spanish at all. He just chose the Spanish Inquisitor's name.
He was not. But he was using a Spanish Inquisitor's name, which is weirdly appropriate if you ever tried to do one of these.
So an English person using a Spanish person's name is appropriate for this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Okay. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but is it like a New York Times?
Okay, so I'm going to give you another thing. Okay. Think of how I asked you this question. And then think of the 3 parts of the clue in the question.
It has to be specific. It has to have an indication of a subsidiary, and it should not have anything else.
Clear definition of the answer. I've been a little more than clear there. Then there is the fair piece of wordplay, which is my question itself. And then nothing extra that would confuse you.
So I was thinking something along the lines of like a cryptic crossword or maybe a regular crossword.
Thank you. Yes, it is a cryptic crossword.
I should have guessed that earlier. Okay, interesting.
Did you recognize that I actually described the question as cryptic twice before I asked you the question?
Yeah, definitely. I am so attentive.
So even before I started the question, the clue has basically 3 parts. So let me just put it all together. Cryptic crosswords, those who don't know, are a special kind of word puzzle, which are popular in Britain. Each clue is tricky but fair. The rules that guide the making of these clues are called Jimenean principles, named after Derek Somerset McNutt, who used the pen name Jimenez. He was an expert crossword maker who wanted to make the clues fair and clear. According to these rules, each clue has to have 3 parts. A clear definition of the answer, hence me saying cryptic prior to asking the question. A fair piece of wordplay that helps find the answer, the question itself. And nothing extra that might confuse the solver. Maybe because my clue might have been confusing. For example, for those who don't know, a clue might use hitch to mean obstacle and hide the letter E, the first letter of equipment inside it. So the answer to this clue would be high tech, meaning technologically advanced. Don't even ask me how this works. I have beaten my head against a wall trying to solve cryptic crosswords. Annie, who's been on our podcast, he likes these kind of cryptic crossword things. He's brainy enough to do those. Jimenez, or Derek Somerset McNutt, wrote a famous book in 1966 called Jimenez on the Art of the Crossword Puzzle that explained all these rules. Today, most British cryptic crosswords try to follow these principles because they make the puzzles fair and enjoyable for solvers. So it's a cryptic crossword.
Very smart, very smart. I actually disagree with you because I do find cryptic crosswords fun. I'm not able to solve them all the time, but I find them fun whenever I figure it out or whenever somebody explains it to me. Which reminds me, I don't know if I've ever recommended it before, but this Instagram page I think it's called Minute Cryptic. And this guy, he poses a cryptic crossword clue and then he helps you figure out, like, get to the answer. So it's kind of fun if you're interested in dipping your toe into it, because it's like somebody holding your hand and walking you through it. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Like I mentioned, it's a special kind of torture. I'm sorry, word puzzle.
Just because you're not good at it, Vineet, doesn't mean you get to shit on it. Okay?
Yes, I am salty and I will shit on it.
Going on a slight tangent. Cracking the cryptic it's not a cryptic crossword thing, but they do something called cryptic sudokus. I think it's a YouTube channel. I believe they also have a website.
Oh.
Check it out. It's Sudoku for anybody who likes Sudoku puzzles but is bored of doing the regular same ones. It's like a slight variations on it. Sometimes there'll be only one digit given in the entire Sudoku, but there'll be other additional rules apart from the regular rules of Sudoku. So check it out. I won't go into too much detail on that, but just because cryptic reminded me of that.
Basically, what you're saying is people who do like cryptic crosswords are like masochists, and then people who do like cryptic Sudoku are like masochists pro max.
Did someone hurt you with a cryptic crossword clue? Like, why are you so upset?
I hate them. I can never get the answers.
I believe HK is one of the earlier guests who has also dabbled in cryptic crosswords. He's, I think, the guy who introduced me.
I knew I didn't like him.
Wow, that is not okay. I'm going to complain to HK.
I'm kidding.
No, and I think I believe he's the one who introduced me to cryptic crosswords.
I know people who've introduced other people to drugs as well,
My God, what happened to you? Like, where did this sassy version come out with this voice?
I'm only half kidding. I really do hate cryptic crosswords. It's one of those things I've never been able to master. Like, I can do regular crosswords, but give me a cryptic crossword and I'm like a blabbering 5-year-old. Nothing makes sense.
Okay, all right. Relax. It's okay. We got this.
Okay. I've got that venom out of my system now. So you may go ahead.
Glad you got it out of your system, because I have something new for your system. And that's my question. This is the one question in today's list which, knowing your interest, you should be able to crack very quickly.
Oh God, I hate these.
It's music. You know your music, all right?
The least you can do is not tell me that you think I can crack it.
I will edit it out if you don't crack it quickly, okay? This is music. You know this stuff. All right, tell me, which band has founding members named Jeffrey, Douglas, John, and Thomas?
Jeffrey, Douglas, John, and Thomas. These are the founding members of which band?
Yeah, there were more members eventually. Some people left, more people joined, yada, yada, yada. But these were the 4 founding members.
You've not mentioned last names.
Therein lies my first clue. Their last names are an interesting piece of trivia to the band's formation.
Douglas, John, Thomas. So you're not giving me last names, which makes it more difficult.
You know what? I'm going to give you the last names.
Okay.
Jeffrey Hyman, Douglas Colvin, John Cummings, and Thomas Adderley.
The Ramones.
Vineet. Sometimes you deprive me of the joy of running you through the entire question, but very well done. Yes, I was right. You will crack this very quickly. These are the Ramones. Do you know how the Ramones got their name?
I know they all kind of met at some New York club or something, right?
They met in New York City, yes, but that's not where they got the name. Do you actually, you know what? Part 2 of this trivia. Do you know where the Ramones get their name?
I should know this. Never actually inquired as to where they got their name.
Classic etymology. You're going to love this.
Okay.
Here's the fun part of it, because I gave you their last names and clearly none of their last names are Ramones. But Colvin decided to call himself Ramon, or use the last name Ramon and use the first name Didi. I don't know where Didi came from, but he became Didi Ramon, and he encouraged the rest of them also to take on the name. So they had the last name as performing members of the band. They had the last name Ramon. So it became Joey Ramon, Johnny Ramon, Didi Ramon, and Tommy Ramon. Right? And that's why they were the Ramones. And anybody else who joined the band also took on the last name while they were part of the band or while they were artists associated with the band. Obviously, they didn't officially change the name, but the Ramones were off of a random surname that they happened to choose. Do you know why they chose Ramon?
Why did they choose the name Ramon? I need a clue, dude. You'll have to give me some sort of clue.
You're going to enjoy this. There is a musical artist who predates Ramones, who they were inspired by,
Okay.
who at one point in his musical career chose the pseudonym Ramon because he thought it sounded exotic. You would know who this person is based off of their album where they made a pun on the name Ramon. They spelt it differently. They didn't, because the Ramones are spelled Ramone, and the name of the band adds an S2 at the end. So the name of the band members is Ramone.
Okay.
But the original singer that they were inspired by spelled it Ramon. And in his solo album, he used sort of a twist on the name Ramon to throw back or hark back to his pseudonym days.
Shamo? No, it's not Michael Jackson.
No, it predates the Ramones.
Yeah, no. I was just making a really dumb joke. But, okay. So they used a pseudonym. All of these people use pseudonyms when checking into hotels and things like that, especially if they wanted to get away from...
This was not a pseudonym for checking into hotels. This was actually a pseudonym they used multiple times when they were maybe collaborating with certain artists or when they were on tour at one point of time they had used. This person was part of a band, and everybody in the band apparently had a pseudonym when they were doing a specific tour in their career. You know them by their actual names, but they used a pseudonym in certain parts of their career.
I'm fairly sure that Bertie is, if he is listening, going to be like, "Oh, what are you doing, bro? This is the answer, bro."
But he figured it out before I even asked the question.
Guaranteed, for sure.
It's in his veins. The answer is just flowing through.
I'll need an additional clue. This is not getting me anywhere.
Okay. I told you to look at an album that they did as a solo artist, right? This was after the band broke up. They released a solo album.
Yeah.
And this was, I believe, their second solo album, which is now considered a pretty good album. Back when it came out, it didn't get the best of reviews. And literally, it has a part of the word Ramon in it.
Do I know this album?
Knowing your musical taste, knowing your interest in the music and the decade I'm talking about, and knowing the people I'm actually referring to, you might know this album. You... like how much percentage is obvious enough percentage, you definitely know this person.
Knowing you and knowing how you would like to torture me, I would say this is definitely related to either the Beatles or the Rolling Stones. Somehow.
Yes, you're right. It is one of the two that you mentioned. I am predictable that way, if nothing else.
The Rolling Stones didn't break up per se. She said this person went on to have a solo career. So it has to be either Lennon or McCartney.
Sure.
But if you asked me to name one of the two, money's on McCartney.
Paul Ramon was the pseudonym that Paul McCartney used when the Beatles were still the Silver Beatles. They were doing a tour in Scotland in 1960.
Oh, okay.
And he used it then, and he's used it at some points in the future in his career as well. His second studio album, and the only studio album where he worked with Paul and Linda together, or at least where they're credited together.
There was that song, Admiral Halsey.
Yes, Admiral Halsey is in it. It's from the album, do you know, which I mentioned it?
I don't remember the name of the album. His album names are all very forgettable.
Ram. It's literally called Ram.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And there is a song in it called Ram On. Ram On, where he's like, power through with it.
Okay, not bad.
Now, interestingly enough, one of the songs that is perhaps not as popular, but has significance is Too Many People. Do you know Too Many People?
Doesn't come to mind immediately.
If you think diss tracks are an in thing now, these guys were shooting shots at each other after the breakup of the band.
Okay.
So Too Many People was Paul's diss thing at both Yoko and John. So there were all of these like post-Beatles breakup songs, like the specific songs that perhaps encompass what they're feeling. Too Many People is Paul's main, his post-Beatles song.
Yeah, Too Many People. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get the reference. Yes.
Exactly. You should go read up on it. My God, this is part of the whole rabbit hole that I went down, because the references in it are also hilarious. You know what? I'll just tell you a few of them. There are all the bits at the beginning of Ram, like too many people going underground, right? And John Lennon interpreted it as talking about him and Yoko Ono, which I think, Paul was making some shots over there. In response, Lennon wrote, do you know which song?
Not off the top of my head.
It's from his album Imagine. It's called How Do You Sleep?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. How do you sleep?
Yeah. There's some line I think I remember reading about like the last thing you wrote was yesterday and now you wrote another day because another day was another single from his album.
Yeah.
So he was talking about how Paul had just done like these few things.
Yeah.
John and Paul firing shots at each other in Too Many People and How Do You Sleep. The song that Harrison wrote was Wah Wah. This was Harrison's response to the breakup.
Yeah, but he had a middling career, so I don't think he was he's my favorite Beatle, but still.
Okay. So one of the critics who wrote about these 4 songs and the 4th song being early 1970. That is our man Ringo's song to the response or the breakup of the whole thing.
Poor Ringo.
This particular specific critic definitely said that it is one of the more tempered responses because the rest of them were a lot more angsty, I guess.
See, honestly, you don't have to know anything more. I mean, like, if you want to know why people blame Yoko Ono for all of this, I think it's after the breakup of the Beatles, there was a performance during some kind of variety show. I don't remember if it's a variety show or a stage show, where Lennon was playing with Chuck Berry, the legendary Chuck Berry.
Okay.
And while they are playing, Yoko Ono decides to improvise some kind of oriental chant in the middle of the song. And you can literally see Chuck Berry's eyes go like this.
So you're a Yoko hater as well. We got Cryptic Crossword and we got Yoko Ono. Got it. Yeah. Keeping track.
Yeah.
So that was my little bit of a rabbit hole down these post-Beatles breakup songs that all of them went into early 1970, Wah Wah, Too Many People, and How Do You Sleep. All 4 of them wrote these songs as responses to breakup, which brings me back to Ramon. That's where the Ramones got their name because they did it as an homage to Paul McCartney.
Okay, nice.
And Didi Ramon chose that name and everybody else decided to follow suit. Interestingly enough, in 2002, the Ramones were ranked the 2nd greatest band of all time by Spin, which is a magazine, trailing only the Beatles.
Let's just say that I will disagree with that, but still, I disagree with a lot of things today.
Yeah, I get it. The Rolling Stones were the soundtrack of the 70s. We got it.
The 60s, get it right. Okay. X, so this is my question to you. X was possibly the only person who held this office and also liked to drive his own car, a Range Rover Vogue and a Mercedes-Benz 500 SEL that was gifted to him by the King of Jordan. X was often seen sporting a white pair of Lotto sneakers and expensive sunglasses. His love for fast speeds was no secret considering his previous occupation. So, who am I talking about? I'm being very cryptic.
Given how much you hate Cryptic Crossword, that's irony. But wait, did you say they were the only person to occupy that office?
They're the only person who held this office who also liked to drive their own car.
Oh, is it Ronald Reagan by any chance?
Oh no, do you think any American president would be allowed to drive?
Fair.
If a car backfires, they're not even allowed to walk. They're literally lifted and run. But you're on somewhat the right track.
Yeah, it has to be a world leader, somebody who liked to drive. I know the Queen has driven on certain occasions.
Oh yeah, the Queen of England, she used to be an ambulance driver during World War II.
Ambulance driver. Also the only person who doesn't have a license because all licenses are issued by the Queen, so she can't issue herself a license.
Yeah, so she can't issue a license in her own name. Yeah. Apparently she likes to drive very fast.
I can imagine. She looked like somebody who was a speed racer. But I'm assuming that's not the answer here.
No. Because I said that this was not a surprise considering their previous profession, that they like to go fast.
Ambulance driver has to go fast.
Technically, that would also be true. But like I said, a Range Rover Vogue and a Mercedes-Benz 500 SEL that was gifted by the King of Jordan.
And you also think you mentioned that it is a man that you're looking for.
Yes.
No idea. Must be some racer who is also the prince of some place or the king of some place. But
okay. As I also mentioned, their appearance, very famous for wearing white Lotto sneakers and expensive sunglasses, drove at a breakneck pace across roads which have been cleared well in advance by the security forces.
This is not a fictional person, right? It's a real individual.
Oh, no, it's a real person.
Oh, yeah, no idea at all. Had a career which would drive them to driving really fast.
I said that their love for fast speed is no surprise considering their previous profession, is all I'm saying.
That does not ring a bell at all.
Okay. So there was an official car, and then there was this person's private cars. They would take the private cars and go so fast that the official cars would be trailing. It's no surprise that it was trailing because you have the Americans who travel in like this over souped up, they call the beast limousines, right?
Mhm.
But this was a white ambassador car.
Does this sound very familiar? The Indian context into it. It sounds like I've heard of this particular Prime Minister, President. I've definitely
I
heard
would
of this.
suggest thinking of the previous profession.
I'm assuming you see Rajiv Gandhi only.
It is Rajiv Gandhi.
He was a pilot. Makes sense. Speed.
Yeah. So he was a trained pilot. He had an affinity towards fast cars as well. So whenever he got an opportunity, he switched between the Hindustan Ambassador, a Range Rover Vogue, and a Mercedes-Benz 500 SEL that was gifted to him by the King of Jordan. And he also had a couple of Cadillacs in his garage.
Oh, okay.
He was a proper petrol head.
I did not know about the shoes, though. I did not know that this was something very, very specifically associated with him.
Oh yeah, he preferred. It's not that he always wore it, but he did prefer white sneakers. Even after his assassination, famously they found the sneakers which were blown off his feet.
Morbid.
Correct me if I'm misremembering this because I visited the museum around 10 years ago. But there is a Rajiv Gandhi and Indira Gandhi museum in New Delhi. And I think this is one of the relics that they keep there. It's a very morbid museum. The site where Indira Gandhi was gunned down is preserved under panes of glass. And you can still see the bloodstains today.
I might not hold her in the highest regard, but nobody deserves a violent death like that. So, unfortunate, but interesting piece of trivia. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay, speaking of cool things, what a basic segue. There was a nightclub in West Hollywood, California, along Sunset Boulevard on the Sunset Strip. In 1943, Frank Sinatra became a solo act. When he first became a solo act, he made his LA debut at that particular club. In 1955, Ella Fitzgerald opened also at this club after Marilyn Monroe had really pushed for her to get that spot, and that kind of launched Fitzgerald on the stage into fame. Do you know how this particular club in LA is connected to a very iconic Bollywood character?
Mogambo.
Oh, what? Oh my God, that was a little too easy? Or did I make it way too easy for you? Did you know this, or did you just...
No. It's a pure guess because you were talking about characters that would be named after an Indian character named after something in Hollywood. Frankly, the only name that came to my head was, Rapper or Mogambo.
Could be like a club called, like, I don't know, Raj. Or like Shahenshah.
Or Rahul, naam to suna hi hoga.
Exactly. Why couldn't there be a club called Rahul in LA?
No, it can't be just Rahul. It has to be Rahul, naam to suna hi hoga. So that the Americans can butcher it. Let's go to Rahul.
That does sound like a cool name for a club. Brilliant. Like, I had so much stuff that was supposed to be given as clues, but you have blown past it yet again.
Hit me with the clues anyway. I'd love to know.
I'm going to, because this is part of my rabbit holing, now that we're using the word. The catch here is that the name of the original club was not Mogambo, it was Mocambo.
Okay.
Mocambo. There are some roots to that word in Spanish and Portuguese and stuff. I think it has to do with certain indigenous tribes in the Americas. It has to do with certain trees, all of those things. That's where Mocambo comes from. Mocambo is the name of this particular club. It was a very famous spot. I already mentioned two very famous people, but there were a bunch of other very famous people who also performed there. There was a movie that was made called Mogambo.
Cary Grant.
Very impressive. Yes, you do know the movie. It's a 1953 Hollywood film called Mogambo, which had Cary Grant in it. And Salim Khan and Javed Akhtar, they were inspired by this film, and they named Mogambo, the character in Mr. India, after the film, which had been named after the club with a slight twist, where it called Mocambo. Actually, during the promotions of the 1953 Hollywood film, the producers claimed that the word Mogambo meant the greatest, but there was no such meaning. It was literally just because the producer of the film, he liked that particular club in LA. And that's why he decided to name the film Mogambo.
Uh-huh.
And then we got our character Mogambo from it, which kind of launched Amrish Puri into stratosphere. He appeared in Indiana Jones after that. Got a bunch of the antagonist roles. I think he was the highest paid villain in Bollywood, I think, at that point.
At one point. No, because I remember the fact that Mogambo was named after this movie because I had the fact that this movie was the inspiration for the character name. The nightclub connection was something that came to me right the other way around. Because I couldn't think of any other character who could be named after a club.
Smart. Mocambo, the club, obviously shut down way back when. There is a club opened in Toronto, and this was inspired by the founders of this Toronto club who had visited the LA club and liked it. They opened a club in Toronto, which is also famous for a whole different reason. And that you will enjoy because the Rolling Stones once performed there under a pseudonym. They did not want to tell people they're performing, so it was like kind of a secret thing.
Wait, let me guess. Did they call themselves No Moss?
That. No, it was not called No Moss. They called themselves the Cockroaches. I don't know if that was a dig at the Beatles or something. I don't know.
Oh, no. Okay. It makes sense because it's famously a scientifically known fact that in the event of a nuclear apocalypse, the only things left alive will be Keith Richards and cockroaches.
Yeah, and Keith Richards will outlive the cockroaches, I'm sure.
He'll probably smoke them.
He might just do that. In this case, they were called the Cockroaches. None of the people in the audience knew who these people were because they were an opening band for another group called April Wine, which is a Canadian rock band. They were the opening group for it. This particular performance is famous because there's also a recently released live album called Elmo 1977. This was in 1977. They released Elmo 1977, which is a live recording of it.
Okay.
This 1977 gig is very famous because there was a very famous lady over there who went by the name of Margaret Trudeau. And if the tabloids were to be believed, she had a romantic encounter with Mick Jagger, which eventually led to her divorce with the then Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau.
I know this.
It happened a couple of years later, but this was apparently one of the reasons why. She was caught on a photograph in that event. Again, maybe it was a completely innocent thing, I don't know. But the rumors were that she had a romantic rendezvous with Mick Jagger at that event, which led to her eventual divorce with. My God, the rabbit holes I went down, you have no idea. What all did I explore in this?
You should have followed that particular thread because if you followed that particular thread down, you'd know that there is a conspiracy theory that Pierre Trudeau is not okay. At this point, we are away from, far away from being trivia nerds to become just gossip queens right now.
Yeah. Please switch off your trivia brains. Yeah.
Yes. So there is a conspiracy theory that Pierre Trudeau is not Justin Trudeau's father and that Justin Trudeau's father is actually Fidel Castro.
Oh, wow. What?
Yeah, so there are old photographs of Margaret Trudeau and, both of them together and just looking at each other. And there is somewhat some chemistry in the photographs if you see it in those eyes. And the pictures of young Fidel Castro and the pictures of a young Justin Trudeau are uncanny. So there's probably nothing to it, frankly speaking. It just sounds too outlandish. But then you never know. It's a fun conspiracy for people to go down rabbit holes.
I love it. Vineet, anything you hate in this particular question so far?
No, nothing to hate here.
Cockroaches? Yeah, you're good with cockroaches?
No, I do hate them, yeah. Now that you tell me that I hate cockroaches, yeah.
All right. So we have cryptic crossword, we have Yoko Ono, and we have cockroaches.
Yeah, they won't drown.
All right. Well, Vineet, back to you.
So, my question to you now is going to be a slightly medical question, but I hope you will be able to crack it. In a 2013 study published in the International Journal of Cardiology, Anand Patel and et al., which just means Anand Patel and other authors, referred to the term X. They defined X as a colloquial term for mediastinitis and other complications of an open sternotomy following cardiothoracic surgery.
Okay.
Did you understand anything about what I said?
Nothing at all.
So mediastinum is basically, just for simple terms, is the central portion of your chest cavity. Between your lungs and all, that's the central portion of the chest cavity. And it's right behind your breastbone or your sternum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so during cardiothoracic surgery, obviously, they cut your sternum in half. They kind of split it open.
You got it.
It's called an open sternotomy. So there can be inflammation or infection of the mediastinum, that is the central part of your chest cavity,
Hmm.
following and other complications of a sternotomy in cardiothoracic surgery.
Okay.
The popular name for this condition, which is the term X that they refer to, is based on the description above. Okay, I told you what this is about. So this name, the popular name, was given based on the description above. And it hints towards a very famous personality or person, or let's just say a very famous icon who's associated with a particular action.
Oh, okay.
And
Person part threw me off. I thought I had an answer.
oh no, you might actually have it. I think I gave it away, but just chalo.
Has it got anything to do with alien?
Oh no.
Oh, okay. I was thinking not person, but an alien chest buster.
Oh, very good guess. But no, this is a famous icon who's associated with a particular action.
I figured it out. Is it Hanuman?
Yes, it is the Hanuman syndrome.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's called the Hanuman syndrome. It's a term which refers to the kind of inflammation and infection of the central part of your chest, resulting as a complication of an open sternotomy where they kind of split your chest breastbone and then like pull it open.
Right.
The whole image of Hanuman revealing his heart in which resides Ramji, Sita, Ma, and Lakshman.
Yeah. My initial guess I was quite proud of, but the eventual answer is cooler somehow. Nice. I like.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. Perfect. I'm going to switch gears and I'm going to go back to the US. And here's a simple etymology question for a particular space in the US or a locality or a neighborhood.
Okay.
The Commissioner's Plan of 1811, which laid out the grid scheme of Manhattan above Houston Street.
Houston Street.
It's not Houston?
No, it's pronounced Houston Street.
Are you pulling my leg? Because I can't fact check you live.
No, it is called Houston. It's called Houston.
Houston, we do have a problem. All right. Which laid out the grid scheme of Manhattan. The Houston part is not relevant. And it designated 16 north-south avenues. Okay. 12 of them were numbered and they were supposed to run continuously to Harlem. And then there were 4 which were not numbered.
Okay.
Based off of these 4, the particular locality got its name. What is the name of this locality?
So the name of this locality is after the 4 avenues which were not numbered in New York.
Yeah.
You want the name of the locality, right?
Yeah.
Was it Tribeca?
I don't know what the connection to Tribeca is, but not relevant.
No, I'm just guessing because they say Soho is south of Houston or something like that. So something like that, where it's the name itself is an acronym of sorts.
No, it is not an acronym. I mentioned, and I think you would have realized I did not mention what the 4 other streets were because I said 16 north-south avenues. 12 of them were numbered. 4 of them were not numbered. So what they were, I didn't mention. It's based off of those 4 that this locality gets its name.
Is it a location that's famous? Would I know this? Because I do.
I actually had not heard of it, to be very honest. I had not heard of it till, and this is my first hint. Have you seen the show The Studio?
Yes.
So there were a bunch of fictional films in that show.
Alphabet City.
Yes, it is Alphabet City, which is the movie that is, I think, in one of the episodes, which is about the extended ending that the director goes on into like a part which is unnecessary.
Yeah.
But that is Alphabet City. I did not realize that Alphabet City was an actual place.
Why is it called Alphabet City?
Because the non-numbered ones are Avenue A, B, C, D. So the only single-lettered street names in the whole of New York City.
Okay.
That's why that area is called Alphabet City.
Nice. I did not know that. So they would say like the corner of A and 16th. Like how do they say that then?
Yeah, the Avenue B and 12th or Avenue B and 8th.
Okay, so Avenue B. Okay. Oh, that's a nice question.
Interestingly enough, the Broadway musical Rent, it takes place in Alphabet City.
Ah, okay.
Because that's where was a composer. I think his name is Larson, right? The guy who unfortunately passed away before I think it came to Broadway. Played very convincingly by Andrew Garfield in Tick Tick Boom. Great film. Check that out as well. Jonathan Larson's very iconic. If you've heard of Broadway musicals, Rent is one of them you probably have heard of. Rent is based in Alphabet City.
Nice. Okay. So then I guess it is now my turn to try and bamboozle thee. I'm going to go with a question that I have for some reason not asked, even though you're a big fan of these kind of questions. So, Aditya, this is a combination of two types of questions that you love: lists and fill in the blanks.
Give it to me.
I want you to fill in the missing entry in this list.
Okay.
Pythian, Nemean, Isthmian. What's the fourth?
Expected the list to be longer.
No, it's not.
Disappointingly small list.
Mm-hmm. Dirty jokes all.
Can you repeat the names again?
Pythian, Pythian, Nemean, Nemean, Nemean as in the Nemean lion,
Mm-hmm.
Isthmian, if you've heard of isthmus, the thyroid isthmus, Isthmian.
I was going to go off of Nemean lion only because that was the only word which felt relevant, but I'm assuming it doesn't have anything to do with lions or mythological lions. So, no idea.
I'm not saying Nemean lion, I'm just saying Nemean as in the Nemean lion so that you understand what I'm talking about, right? Like, or at least the word itself.
Yeah, no, I got that. That was the only jumping off point I had, but
Pythian priestesses, the priestesses of the Temple of Delphi, they were called Pythian priestesses.
sounds like a lot of Greek myth.
Yeah, you are getting to something. So this is a very unknown fact. I want to put this out there that this is an unknown fact is that many people have forgotten.
Okay,
Very Indian right now.
I like it.
People listening to us cannot understand it, so I am head bobbing.
I think the voice was very clear. Iconically Indian. Okay, but tell me, what is connection to Greek mythology? Is it?
It's not mythology. The first part is right. The second part is not.
Greeks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I was going to say Ionic, like Ionic columns, but I think those are Roman, not Greek.
Oh, that would have been that's a very good joke, but no.
I don't know what the joke is, but anyways, that's Roman, that's not Greek.
No, okay, that was just me. That's a scene in, I think it's in Angels and Demons, where
This column is Ionic
Ionic. Yeah, this column is Ionic.
because every column has ions.
Yeah.
Because I'm recently been seeing promotions of the Odyssey. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck have been speaking about it in their recent press tour. So does it have anything to do with the Odyssey?
No, not particularly. Let me just give you a clue. The legacy of this fourth entry on the list
Mhm.
is still quite big today. We've forgotten the other three.
Okay, the fourth one still holds strong.
The fact is, there are certain things which we take for granted about this fourth entry on the list, even today, but we've never actually thought to understand why it is so. And that will make sense when you know about the other three things, which are Pythian, Isthmian, and Nemean.
Give me a hint or...
Okay, the Pythian games.
Oh, is it the Olympic game?
Yeah, I just completely f***ed up that clue. Okay.
It's okay. It's all right.
To the audience, I completely screwed up the reveal on that because I'm sick. Guys, give me a break. I am sick right now. But yes, it is the Olympic Games. Let me just tell you right now that everybody knows the Olympic Games. We know that the Olympic Games happen every 4 years.
Hmm.
Have you ever thought to wonder why it happens every 4 years?
Those are the other three games happening in the intervening time. I have heard of this. Yes.
Yes. So the games were held in 4-year cycles.
Hmm.
You would have the Olympic Games, which were held in Olympia, honoring Zeus, and the winners received an olive wreath.
Right.
The Pythian Games were held at Delphi. I gave you a clue about the Pythian priestesses at Delphi.
Oracle of Delphi.
Yes, they honored Apollo, and it was for music and arts. And the winners received a laurel wreath.
Oh, interesting.
The Nemean Games were held at Nemea, honoring Zeus again, and Heracles, or Hercules.
Hmm.
And they received a celery wreath.
Disgusting. Go ahead.
And the Isthmian Games held at the Isthmus of Corinth, honoring Poseidon, the Greek god of the sea.
Mhm.
And the winners received a pine wreath. So these games were all held like every year. So that's why the Olympics came every 4 years, because they'll be like, okay, Olympics is done. We'll go for the Pythian and the Nemean and the Isthmian and then back to the Olympics. So this 4-year cycle, do you know what that was called? Again, that terminology is known in India today, India and many other countries, at least in Asia, for a very different reason. Though the connection is clear once you know the word.
In India, we don't have 4-year election cycles.
Oh, no. This is something that happens every year.
Oh, acha.
They've given it this name. It's not just in India, because I've seen this in the Middle East as well.
I don't know why first thing came to mind was Biennale.
No. The Biennale is something that happens every 2 years. No, so that's the thing with Biennale.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
This is the Olympiad.
The Olympiad, of course. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Olympiad is the 4-year cycle. That 4-year cycle was called the Olympiad, composed of 4 games: the Olympic Games, the Pythian Games, the Nemean Games, and the Isthmian Games. Now you know this forgotten fact.
Okay. Cool.
Audience, I really want to apologize again for screwing up the clue, but I'm sick. So I'm allowed to be a little hateful today and screw up.
Happens to the best of us. Well, I'm going to take you from the islands of Greece to the islands of Japan. And you have to tell me, Vineet, what is the significance of Matsumushi and Suzumushi? Matsumushi are pine crickets and Suzumushi are belly crickets. They are both two distinct cherished autumn insects in Japan. For people who are familiar with Japanese culture would know that insects are held in a certain regard in Japan. They have a lot of cultural significance in Japan, unlike the way they're viewed, or like someone like us might see a cockroach. I think they view certain insects at least with a lot of regard. It has to do with the coming of seasons and they are celebrated in shrines and whatnot, right? There are a lot of cultural significances to this. What significance did Matsumushi and Suzumushi have in early 1930s in Japan? And I'm going to say the same thing you said, that this is a forgotten piece of trivia, or I don't think anybody following English trivia would know this. You would have to go into some Japanese documents and Google translate them to know what I'm talking about. I came across this in one of my, again, rabbit holes.
So Matsumushi and Tsutsumushi.
Names are not very relevant, but yes, these are two different types of crickets which are associated with the season of autumn.
Two different types of crickets.
Yeah.
What is their importance in the 1930s?
One significant event featured them prominently in the 1930s.
Okay, so one significant event in the 1930s featured them, and you want to know what that is.
Yes.
Is it too early to ask for a clue?
You know what? This is a tough question, so I'm going to give you a clue. This happened August 25th, 1931, so around the time that autumn would be arriving in Japan. And these were insects associated with autumn, but it doesn't have anything to do with the season specifically. It's just that the time coincided with that season, so perhaps that's why they were chosen. This was the first thing of its kind in Japan.
So the first thing of its kind in Japan, which happened in August of 1931. And it had something to do with two crickets.
Yeah. Again, perhaps not enough of a clue. I'm going to give you one more clue. It started in Tokyo, but it did not end there.
I already know this, right?
No, it's not something you might know. This is just one of those pieces of trivia that I thought was interesting. And I'll help you along a little bit further on this way. This had to do with something that was being done for the first time in Japan. This started in Tokyo, didn't end there. It, in fact, was at a point where Japan was kind of expanding its powers into China. The Russians had kind of faded into the background in China, and the Japanese occupation was underway. And there was a specific city in now People's Republic of China in Liaoning province. It's called Dalian now. Back then it was called Dairen. It's a similar enough name. It started in Tokyo. It ended in Dairen. What happened that connected these two cities and involved insects?
And it's the first of its kind in the world.
No, not the first of its kind in the world. First of its kind in Japan.
I did think of something, but it doesn't make sense that it will end up in China. So I don't think that's the answer.
You don't have to specifically think of something Japan and China. This is just something that was starting off across the world at this point of time. Some other countries were a little bit ahead. Japan started in 1931.
I don't even know where to go to start thinking about this because I have no frame of reference.
I think I gave a very strong hint when I said it connects these two cities.
Exactly what I was saying. I thought of something, but then it doesn't make sense that it would end in China because Japan's an island.
Actually, that is perhaps the biggest hint I could give. Japan is an island. So it can't be a road. It could be a tunnel, but I don't think there are any tunnels.
My first thought was a train. Japan and trains and whatnot.
So it's not that. It's not a train. It's not a road. It's not a highway.
It's a ferry service.
Imagine ferry services happened in Japan before 1930s.
Flight?
Okay. All right. You know what? This is one of those trivia, and I'll tell you why I give this trivia in a bit.
Okay. Because so far it's been quite underwhelming, frankly speaking.
Okay, Vineet, relax. So the first ever flight that flew off from Tokyo airport was carrying 6,000 of these insects, because back then people were not able to afford the very expensive flight tickets, and they wanted to do this almost as a sales push. So as a publicity stunt, they are like, okay, these things which are honored and revered in our community, in our culture, let's fly them in our first ever flight. So first ever flight that took off from Tokyo airport went from Tokyo to this place, Dalian now, and it carried 6,000 of these insects.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Vineet, again, not the most impressive trivia, just something, just one of my rabbit hole experiences, one of my rabbit hole things.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to kind of tie everything together.
Okay.
Do you know what my answer to the audience question is?
Yeah. You mentioned some alliterative, elegant elm American tree, something like that.
I did.
You waxed poetic about a tree for some reason.
An elm tree in Tompkins Square Park gained significance in 1966. This particular event named that tree, and it has relevance, of course, to Western culture, to American culture, but also to us Indians. What happened there that gave the tree its name?
This is 1960s.
Yes.
And all your answers till now have had something to do with that.
The connection I'll tell you, but yes, it has. All of them have been connected. Every single piece of trivia that you've heard in this episode so far has been connected.
Ooh, a man with a plan. Oh, 1960s, the hippies.
Very good. The counterculture, that vibe in New York.
Yeah, because when you say India and America, 1960s, the first obvious thing is that connects them is the hippie culture, the hippie counterculture movement.
A very specific component to the hippie counterculture that we are all familiar with, we've all heard of, maybe encountered also.
Too early for Osho, right?
Very much on the right path. Literally, if you extend that Osho line of thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, let me help you a little bit, right? On October 9th, 1966, if you walked past this particular park and this particular tree, you would have heard a specific chant there. And that chant has kind of given its name to the tree as well.
Oh, this is the Hare Krishna movement.
This is the Hare Krishna movement.
But what has it got with the tree?
Swami Prabhupada, for the first time when he did a public gathering of Hare Krishna devotees and they chanted together, it was at this particular tree in Tompkins Square. And it got the name Hare Krishna tree. Many years later, or at least a few years later, George Harrison also came there seeking a higher consciousness.
Okay.
This is the Hare Krishna tree in Tompkins Square. A lot of devotees of the Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna, I think the offices or whatever the main headquarters of it is also somewhere nearby in New York.
Oh no, isn't it based in San Francisco?
At least the article that I'm reading says Lower Manhattan was the epicenter of all of these things, and their particular headquarters were also in it. So maybe the East Coast West Coast difference of SF and New York, I'm not sure. But in any case, this was where like a lot of people were gathering, a lot of the hippie culture was gaining momentum. And Hare Krishna tree is in this particular park. Now, Vineet, let's tie it all up together.
Mm-hmm.
Are you excited?
Please go ahead. The stage is yours.
So the first question I asked you was about the Beatles and the Ramones and the Beatles. So I told you about a bunch of the songs. In early 1970, Ringo says something because he knows John Lennon loves it. Have you heard of the song Hold On by John Lennon?
Yes.
In that, in between, Lennon randomly shouts something, which the song early 1970 as a tribute to John Lennon, Ringo also used. Right? Early 1970, I told you the song that Ringo made post-breakup. This is a word that John Lennon used in Hold On, then Ringo used in early 1970. He shouted, cookie.
Okay.
All right. Hold on to that little cute piece of trivia, okay?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm holding.
The next thing I went to was Mogambo. I mentioned that in Toronto, where that particular episode happened, where Trudeau's wife was there there was another club that opened. It was called El Mocambo, right? Which was named after Mocambo over there. Hold on to that name as well. Okay, I've given you 2 things so far.
Okay.
Then let's move on to the Tokyo Airport piece of trivia. Now, Tokyo Airport, if you go today, the Terminal 1, apparently, if you see it from a distance, from a height, it looks like a bird, right? So it has a specific nickname.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's go to the 4th piece of trivia, which is about Alphabet City.
Mm-hmm.
There was a specific creator of something in 1969 who initially wanted to name her creation after Avenue B. Okay, eventually it changed its name, but she wanted to name it after Avenue B, which I mentioned in Alphabet City: Avenue A, Avenue B, Avenue C, Avenue D.
Mm-hmm.
That brings me right back to my audience question of Tompkins Square and Hare Krishna Tree, right? Where do you think Hare Krishna Tree, Tompkins Square is located? Or rather, like, what's right across the street from them?
Mocambo?
I have tied all of it together. I have told you Cookie was shouted in that song. I have told you the airport looked like a bird from a distance. I have told you the name of the club was El Mocambo. And I have told you something Avenue B was the initial name for a show we all know.
Where are you going with this?
Cookie, bird, El Mocambo, a number followed by Avenue
God,
B.
Sesame Street. Oh my God. Oh, sweet Jesus, oh my God.
The original name for Sesame Street was supposed to be 123 Avenue B. That's what the original plan for Sesame Street was. If you go to the map on 123 Avenue B, right across from it, you can see Tompkins Square, where Hare Krishna Tree is located. 123 Avenue B is obviously an actual place. 123 Sesame Street is now the fictional location that was used in the show, but initially it was supposed to be called 123 Avenue B. I told you El Mocambo. In short, it's called Elmo. Doesn't have any connection to the actual character, but yeah, it's called Elmo. The Terminal 1 in Haneda Airport is called Big Bird. And Cookie, because apparently John Lennon was a big fan of Cookie Monster. So he randomly says Cookie in his song in the Cookie Monster voice, which Ringo replicated in his early 1970 song. And that's, sir, my 2 days of the week gone completely into this random rabbit hole. And there were at least 30 more articles I read.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you're on very strong painkillers.
You know what? I think that's what happened, yeah.
Oh my God, man. Are you okay?
I don't think so.
See, I think I've mentioned on the show before that some of the best things that have happened in history, not that I'm recommending this, have happened on drugs. Stephen King wrote his scariest novels while he was coked up. Many of the time, he can't even remember some of the novels that he'd written.
Yep.
A lot of artists have consumed recreational drugs and have produced some of their best work while on drugs. Not that that's recommended in any sort. But now, today, in this episode, you have seen the power of painkillers.
This happened. This is a one-off thing. Hopefully, I won't be on painkillers anytime soon, so you won't have to suffer through this again. But my God, I enjoyed this so much.
No, I'm actually going... No, see, this is really weird. But dude, this is some of your best work. This is some of your best work so far. You hit me out of left field so hard. Oh my God, I'm not going to recover from this. This is, the game has been stepped up. I can no longer just coast by without themes or whatever. You made it infinitely more difficult to do this podcast.
I think our listeners would realize that recently we've been naming our episodes after, pop culture references. There have been random things like that. Stop, drop and roll, Lake Do Teen. Things that are, known phrases. Yeah. And I was trying to name this and I was like, you know what, I don't know what to do. And then at some point I was like, oh, you know what, I have not gotten into Sesame Street trivia enough. So I went down this hole of what does Elmo have to do with stuff? And then I was like, what does Big Bird have to do? And so this episode, I'm going to tell you now, is going to be named Elmo, Big Bird, Cookie Monster.
But isn't Elmo named after Saint Elmo?
Yeah. And none of these are etymologies. Elmo, the club, is not...
Okay, yeah, no, I got it. I'm just clarifying. Since you went out the rabbit hole anyway.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. I had no clue where you were going with this. Absolutely no clue where you're going with this. Wow.
And it all started because after last episode, I had a inkling to go through a list of best Alfred Hitchcock films. So I was just going through a list and seeing what people have recommended, how they've ranked it. And I came across this particular list which said that in Rear Window, Grace Kelly has done some of her best work.
Okay.
Obviously, I was like, oh, let me read a little bit more about Grace Kelly's work. And I opened up Grace Kelly Wikipedia page, which led me to the film Mogambo, which I was like, oh, is this what Mogambo is named?
Okay.
And it just snowballed from there. 2 days later, I woke up and I don't know which part of Wikipedia I was on, but yeah. I was translating random Japanese articles just because I was like, why were there insects and what were these insects doing? I just wanted to know. That was my weakest trivia. I'll attest to it, but Big Bird, I had to tie it in somewhere, so that's where Big Bird came in.
Flight of insects. I was like, why is this guy talking about flights of insects? It is interesting. Actually, no piece of information is not interesting per se. So they are like degrees of interesting.
It not qualified by AYQM. Yeah, we would not put this in the regular episode of but for today, I had.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Yes.
I'm tired. I think I need painkillers again. Vineet, I'll let you do the end of it.
No. You're not off the hook yet. You have to give us your pop culture recommendation.
Oh, my lord. I completely forgot. Okay, yeah. No, I do have some fun pop culture recommendations because, well, we were talking about Sesame Street and, animals and whatnot. So I watched 2 films recently and both of them really good. Must check it out. Bad Guys 2 and Zootopia 2. Just so much fun. Like absolute fun. Bad Guys 2, Zootopia 2. Great films. Go check those out. This animal-centered animation hitting a nice emotional chord and you have fun with it. You know what? Since Vineet is taking a few more moments, I'm going to come back to another film. And Vineet, you're not the only one who watches Malayalam cinema because I watched Echo.
Ah, yes, finally.
I thought the premise was very interesting. The setup, its cinematography is beyond beautiful. For anybody who's seen the trailer or even seen the poster, you know that dogs are featured in it. From whatever I read, there's no CGI involved in it. So the dogs were actually doing whatever acting, the animal acting they were doing in the film. And it was executed very well. So kudos to whoever the animal trainer was in the film as well. Very good execution. I just felt because it's some sort of a thriller mystery, I think they put in a lot of red herrings. So there was a lot of fluff added to it to kind of throw you off the scent. Pun intended from a dog perspective. But it made it a little like it added just unnecessary fat to the film. If they had trimmed off the fat, I think this would have been a 9 on 10 film at least. For me, it ended up being a 7 on 10. But watch it for a very interesting storyline. Some great performances. It's a beautiful cinematography. They've captured the hills.
And a fantastic last 5 seconds.
So yeah, that's what I mean. Like the twist did hit, but I feel like along the way they kind of a little bit lost me with the added on fat of it.
Fair enough. I would recommend then that you check out Kalam Kaval on Sony Live, which is a Malayalam, as usual, thriller serial killer film. It's partially based on the real life serial killer Cyanide Mohan. The movie stars Mammootty as the titular serial killer.
Right.
When you're reaching the fag end of your career, very few people want to take risks. They usually want to cement their legacy, and that's what practically everybody is doing, whether Kamala Hassan or Rajnikant or Amitabh Bachchan. Like, they're not doing anything risky. Like, when was the last time you've seen Amitabh Bachchan do like a really risky role? Play something, completely out of left field.
I'll give him props for Pa. I think Pa was an interesting choice.
Yeah, but Pa was a good long while ago.
That is true.
Yeah. In the past couple of years, Mammootty has played a serial killer. He has played a goblin, a literal horror movie goblin. He has played a gay man. That's another movie. If you haven't watched it, watch Kadal, the Core. He's played a gay man in that. He's also done some fantastic banger masala films also in between.
Unfortunately, not a lot of leading men in any of the Indian cinemas, as far as I know, are playing gay men. So yeah, props to Mammootty.
Yeah. The man is a legend. And check out Kalam Kaval on Sony Live.
Okay.
And that's all the time we have for this episode. I would recommend that listeners remember the fact that Aditya has said that he will be checking out Kalam Kawal. So if next week he does not include it in his recommendation, you know what to do. Okay, so that's all the time we have for this week's episode. Please check us out and follow us on whichever platform you are. Please, 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 we need more followers on YouTube. All those people who are following us on Spotify, please just go press the subscribe button on YouTube now. You can watch us on YouTube video there, or you can listen to us on YouTube Music. Give us some subscribers here. What are you guys doing? Yeah, check out our subreddit. As we mentioned, we have major quiz sets on Thursdays and a question of the day every day. Aditya now puts out Sunday quizzes on Instagram on every Sunday morning. So you can check those out and you can message us to tell us your score. We are greedy to know.
I love the fact that some of our listeners are so enthusiastic that I got corrected actually, because I had mistakenly put when you're on Instagram, you can choose which is the right answer for a question. And I had mistakenly put the wrong answer as the right answer. And I got within 10 seconds, I got 3 messages saying, hey, you messed up. Paris is on the river Seine. Yeah. And I'm like, oops, sorry, my bad.
So yeah, that's it.
See you guys next week.
See you guys next week.
I got it this time. I got it. You were late.
Yeah, you did. See you guys next week. And I will see you again next week. And this is the last word and you cannot say anything. Jinx. Turn off the recording. Turn it off. Now. Do it.